Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm gonna give you this a fully functional Amazon clone website to you. Now, if you are really looking forward to learn from this scratch, feel free to go back to my channel and watch this two video, which is the part 1 for the Amazon clone with Nextjs 13 and the build a search bar and dynamic routing using Nextjs. So these two videos is all about to coming over here. And if you are just trying to give an Nextjs or React.js, just give it a try, then feel free to just go alongside with me. If you just follow my few steps, you're gonna have this website in your arsenal at the end of the video to show it in your portfolio. Now, what we're gonna have in this actual website? First of all, we're gonna have a header which redirecting us to our homepage. Also, we have a search bar which is actually working. Now you can toggle through all the search pages. You can add products from here. Let's go back to our main page. We can add more products. We can also add products from here. We can add to our favorite, and once you add the favorite, you see the little markup is starting to show up. If we go back to our favorite, there is an option to just add back to our cart. Let's add, and it will remove from the favorite and add more. And now again, go back to shopping. Just add some more products. Now let's go back to our cart to add the products and let's finish the shopping. Now here you have the full functionality to add more products, or you can remove the products from here like that way, or you can reset your cart. If you want to reset the cart, it will just show you a pop-up. Or you want to reset your cart, if you click no, it will just leave you like that, or if you click yes, it's gonna remove all the products from the cart. So let's add some more products to create a checkout on that. Now let's add more. Now we are having 4093.19, and as you can see, we cannot proceed to buy because we need to log in. Now if we just click on that sign in option, we're gonna have two-way login authentication, which is from the Google OAuth and also for GitHub OAuth. Now let's try with the GitHub. Once I head back the GitHub and it's logging finish, as you see, it's showing my credential, which is giving my image, name and email. And now I will be able to proceed to buy. As you see, if I click on the proceed to buy, it will redirect to me to the Stripe payment checkout option. Now this is the value, and these are all the items we have. We have more 6 items. So let's create a default payment with that Stripe. Okay, city, just put some default value, and the default value for the Stripe card, it will be 4242. And now just put any of the 3, just a valid, like it's have the expiry date, and put any 3 random number as for that CVP. So now it's gonna proceed to checkout, and as you see, our checkout is done. If we just come back to our Stripe payment option, we will be able to see that our payment is successfully done and we are receiving that payment authentication. So I'm going to show you how you can actually acknowledge everything on that video to according to this in this website over here. If I just click sign out, it will take back from the sign out. So if you want to learn from this scratch, go back there, see from the beginning to that one, it gonna be help you. But if you want to save a time to just see how the code is running, feel free to follow the step with me. It will help you. First of all, let's see what gonna have the technology we use for that build application. We're using that Nextjs 13, the latest one, and also we are using that Auth.js to make that authentication with that. We are using that Stripe for payment authentication. We are using that Redux Toolkit to save the product in the real time, save the data. We are using the TypeScript. Entire build is using the TypeScript. We use the TailwindCSS to combine the CSS portion to make this beautiful design. And then we use that React responsive carousel to create that beautiful carousel. And then also we use the React icons to having that beautiful icons. And now also we use another portion, which is that React spinner. Like once we click any of the product, as you see, that spinner is coming from that React spinner. So this is the actual pretty much the packages we have been used. Now, if you are just coming here to give it a try to the Node.js, then you need to install that Node.js to run that application. You just feel free to go with that LTS version, and also you need to install that Git inside your machine. Now, if you are having that Node install, then you just need to just to check the version over here, and to do that, I believe you need to just keep that Node version, and as you see, I have that 18.16.0. and also whenever you're installing Node, the npm will be installed by default, which I have for that 9.5.1. so now we are having that application is, I have the Node, I have Git, I have Node, and also you need to have that Visual Studio Code to run back the application. Now there is a two-way you can get that project. First one, it will be with the Google Drive. I'm gonna give a link on that Google Drive. You can get the link. You can just go to that drive and fetch that. It's gonna be over here in somewhere. And also for our today's project, I'm gonna show you with the GitHub repository. So that's the repository which will be available. The every single build which have been done with that project, Amazon Nextjs, it will be available here. So now what you can do, either you can just copy that, like you can go with that HTTPS or SSH or GitHub CLI as your choice, or you can just download that one, the zip file from here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clone it from here. So let's go back here, and now git clone. So now it's gonna clone our entire project. If you're following me, follow every single step very carefully. You're gonna have this entire build at the end of this video. So now let's head back inside of our project. It will be, it will be Amazon Nextjs. And now let's run it inside that code editor. So now it will open that in my Visual Studio Code. So now after you are getting cloned, now you need to do few more things. First of all, you need to open your terminal. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open that git bash. Now if you're using the yarn, you need to just type yarn, then enter. It will install all the packages available over here, and also need to delete that package log.json. But if you're using npm like me, you just need to put that npm installed. No need to do any further things, because it's gonna fetch everything, and then it's gonna initialize the startup package. And also you need to remember one more thing over here. You're gonna find one more file which will be .env.local. Now very carefully you need to just clarify that file, because all the work you need to do it over here. From there we can redirect, and at the end of our video we're gonna deploy it through Vercel to make it live. Okay, so first of all, let's give it the time to install. As you see, it's already installed. And now, and by the way, you need to put that local host, like I'm gonna remove that one. So you're gonna have like that. Let's npm, so it will be okay, npm run dev. So that will spin up our application in localhost 3000 in our local server. Let's open it up. I'm gonna close that. That is our previous demo version. So let's spin up our application. And by the way, if you are not giving that next auth URL, you're gonna have an error. If this value is empty, you will get an error, because wherever the things you are running, even your localhost 3000 or localhost 3001, you need to mention that one over here in that next URL, because in that way we are just redirecting our authentication with that auth for the URL based auth to Nextjs. So as you see, it's invalid URL. So now I'm gonna paste that URL over here, and that error will be just gone. So now what we're gonna have over here, as you see, pretty much everything we have our like favorite page over here, and that favorite page is working just fine. We have our cart page over here, and the cart page also will work just fine. So every single thing is available over here. Let's go back to our home page. We have the carousel, and by the way, if you just want to scroll down, and as you see, it's fully responsive the way it should be. So now if you just clone with me, you're gonna have this entire build. Now if you want to change the data module, like if you want some another portion of data, you can just change the URL link over here, and then you're gonna have you desired data the way you want. So through that way you can fetch the product. So now as I have that thing, so first of all, let's start creating a payment checkout, which we need to first. Let's clean everything in our local base. So let's go to card. We cannot go for the checkout portion. So what we need to do, and by the way, every other things is working fine, okay? So don't freak out, all the things gonna work just fine. So let's create that sign in option. As you see, we have two options. Let's start with sign in with GitHub. We cannot sign in. If we go through that sign in with Google, also we cannot sign in. It's because our environment variable is empty. First of all, we need to create these two applications. So now if you having the Google account, first of all, you need to go to that Google Cloud Console. And now inside that Google Cloud Console, you need to log in through your Google account, which is the email account you are using. So I already have that account and logged in. Let's head back to my console. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a new application. So you just click on that arrow. As you see, we can create a new project over here. Now I'm gonna give a name of that, which will be Amazon YT. That's Amazon YT. So let's create that application. As you see, it's already starting to spin up. It's gonna create our application. And after creating, as we have been done, we need to head back inside of that project. So let's go next Amazon YT. As we have been over here, let's just go through that API services inside that credentials, because we need two things from there. One thing which we need with that Google Client ID, and another thing is we need the Google Client secret. And by the way, don't copy paste whatever I am typing over here, because I'm gonna delete the project after I publish it over here. So create your own credential, which is pretty much safe, then use it in your project. So first of all, we need to create the credentials, and we're gonna create for OAuth Client ID. Okay, so let's spin up that. And now, okay, we need to configure the consent screen. And if you want to learn more about how that Auth.js is work, like how it gonna be working with that, you can go through that next authentication. You can go through there. Everything is written over here. If you want to understand much more, you feel free to go and read all the documentation. Okay, so now I'm gonna keep it as an external and create. And also the app name, I'm gonna give that Amazon next or next Amazon YT. Amazon YT. And the supported email, I'm gonna give my default email. And also for the developer emails, I'm gonna give that my. Okay, now save and continue. And over here, everything should be saved. Save and continue, save and continue. And I think that's it. Let's go back to dashboard. And after going dashboard, let's go to credential again. Now we can create the credential. Okay. Now we need to check the application type, which will be our web application. And now we need to start that head back that add URI. So the URI will be the URL we're gonna use for that local host. So let's save it. And also the callback URI, which we need to also give that, which gonna be localhost 3000 API auth callback /Google. You're gonna find it over here somewhere if you just read the documentation. So let's save that. And now after saving, I'm gonna getting my Google Client ID. I'm gonna paste it over here, and also I'm gonna get that Google Client secret. So now let's paste it. So don't try to use these two key. Actually, it will not work. I'm gonna remove that after deploying this project. So let's save it. Now let's head back to our localhost 3000. If we now trying to go sign in with the Google, as you see, it's still not popping up. Okay, let's try in again. It will sometimes it gonna just get a bit of time to let Nextjs to serve that for you. And sometimes it also may not work because of that another things which we need to pass that next out secret. That could be any of the random number, but that random number should match with the number, the same number when we're gonna deploy. And to create that number, you can go to their documentation, get the deployment page. It will also, they have a website which gonna generate an auto number for you. As you see, you can copy that one and then just paste it over here. So now we are having that Google, this next out secret. So let's go back and try the login with that Google account. I believe it will work now. Yeah, now we can log in with our account. And after logging, it's gonna redirect back to our application over here. Now, if we go back to cart, as you see, we can also go back to proceed to log up, make the payment. So as we did over here, also let's try with the GitHub. And for that, you need to have a GitHub account. After having that GitHub account, you need to go to your settings over here. And on the settings, you need to choose that developer settings. And from that developer settings, you have that OAuth apps. And now you need to create a new OAuth apps. So it will be next Amazon YT test, because I have already this name project. Okay, or just put that next Amazon. Okay, so now homepage URL, which gonna be this URL over here, and that callback URL. Oops, okay, put that same way. Callback URL will be the same way, which gonna be the localhost 3000 API auth callback.github. So now we're gonna register our application, and after registration, we're gonna have that client ID. So let's copy that client ID. Let's keep that here. And also we need to generate that client secret. And for that, I need to log in with my credential. Okay. And after logging, I can see that. And now let's paste it over here. So if everything is okay, let's update our application. Let's go to our localhost 3000. I'm gonna sign out from the Google login. Let's click again and let's sign in with the GitHub. And I believe it's gonna take a bit of time to give us that sign in portal. And I think the problem arises from here, the callback URI. As you see, we are giving a localhost 3000, and this one is coming with HTTPS, which should not be. It's only the HTTP validation. So now let's save it. And now we believe we can access that login with that GitHub authentication. And as you see, we will authorize to my GitHub account. And after giving everything, it will redirect me over here in that page. So now we already logged in. Let's add some more product to create a checkout in this Stripe. We added 5 products, and now we can access to the proceed to buy. If we click, it will not redirect anywhere. If you just console.log over here, you're gonna see that regarding that publishable key is not available and other necessary things. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just head back to stripe.com. And feel free to open your account. It's very simple. Just use your email account and open a new account. And after having your account, what you need to do over here from this portion, as you see, you need to create a new account. So let's just create a new account. And it will just give a little bit time to create that. And after you create, then we need to apply these 3 things from there. I think the 2 is okay, which will be the next public Stripe publishable key and next Stripe secret key. So these 2 things you need. So first of the company, just put that next Amazon test. Okay, let's create the account. And now after creating account, let's head back to our developer options, from where we can fetch that 2 key. First one, it will be the publishable key. Let's copy that. We're gonna paste it here. And then another one, it will be the secret key. Again, don't use that 2 key because I'm gonna remove that application after I have been done with that. So now this is the 2 key I used. So there is so far no more payment is happening. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to my card over here. Let's close this one. Let's make that proceed to checkout. And now I believe it's gonna redirect to me that checkout page. So we are going to make checkout 1242.20. And also you can see all the items available over here. Let's create a default checkout with some credential. Okay, so the 4242. And now CPB any month, but you need to give a valid date. And CVC will be any 3 random number. Let's pay. And now it's processing, and as you see, it has been done and redirecting me to that success page. If we just head back to our Stripe payment, we'll be able to see that we have been received our first checkout. So now, as you see, we received that checkout and everything looks fine. But now the concern is it's running inside my local machine. But what I want actually to deploy it through, like to deploy it in the production build. And to do that, first of all, we need to go through to finish some of the criteria. First of all, what we need to do actually, we need to remove the Git from here because it's already logged in through my GitHub. Remember, we have been cloned that one. So you just go inside that folder, next Amazon YT, just delete that .git folder, or you can just Google it, how you can remove that .git folder from your application. It will just, I think, rf then git star, it will remove that also. So now we remove the Git. So first of all, let's just close our application. And now I'm gonna make that Git init, initializing the new Git over here. And now git add, I'm gonna add all the products from here. And now git commit, which will be our initial commit. And also you need to have a GitHub account to actually also to create that OAuth and other. First of all, let's go to my GitHub account. So from here, we will just go to my repository, and inside that repository, I'm gonna create another repository, which will be the Amazon text. Oops, not the text, it will be Amazon test. And now I'm gonna keep it as public and create the repository. And after creating that repository, we need to connect that repository to our application, which we have been created over here. I'm gonna git remote add origin with that, and now I need to also pass that one, git push u origin main. So now in over here, I'm running with the master. So instead of main, I will use the master. If you have the main, just feel free to use the main. So after passing that command, as you see, is committing everything through to my GitHub. So if you just scroll back through, we're gonna have everything over here. So all other things is available. And first of all, also it's a good idea whenever you're gonna make that one is in like you're gonna publish that one, you need to ignore that, I believe, that .env.local file. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up that because I don't want to push that in my GitHub. Okay, so again, git add, git commit, which will be env removed, and now git push. And if you are facing the problem to remove that .env.local, what you can do, you can just go back to your settings, and it's just we're gonna give a simple things which we're gonna make our repository as a private repository. So even we are publishing anything as like unknown reason, we didn't know about it, nobody can see that because the visibility, like as you see, is now to as private. So now nobody can access our repository. So let's head back to our repository again. And now we need to connect that repository to our Vercel to create the Vercel deployment. So let's head back to my Vercel dashboard. And inside here, I'm gonna add a new project. And that project, if you open the like your GitHub account, like the Vercel account through GitHub, you're gonna have that import from the GitHub very easily. So import from the GitHub. And now I'm gonna deploy that one. So now what it's gonna do, it's gonna redirect my project from that like from the GitHub account. And initial way, we are not passing any node module inside that GitHub. So what it gonna do, it gonna fetch all the necessary dependencies to create that application, and then it gonna build it from the scratch. There is some error, some warning, so it will not be, you can go through that warning and put the dependency the way it's supposed to be, and either way it will work. It's gonna deploy until it's giving you the red flag. Okay, so started building. As you see, okay, it's built so fast. Now we are our application is built. So let's go to continue to dashboard. Now here we can have that Amazon test.vercel.app. So if you just head back to that actual URL, you see is https amazon test.vercel.app. So now it's a valid URL. You can just copy that URL and you put, if you have the internet, you can see it from anywhere. It's not in the local machine, it's actually in the internet. So now you can go through that, you can add products, even you can search products, go to that pages, and then after that page you can also add products from here. Let's go to cars. So let's create a sign-in portion. So now once we click in the sign in, if we try to sign in with the Google, as you gonna find something interesting that there is an error, we're gonna create that redirect URL. We need to add that our particular URL to redirect our application. So let's head back to our next Amazon YT app in the Google Cloud Console. Let's open that web client 1. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass that URI, which gonna be amazon.vercel app, then API, and also I'm gonna head back as a home page, which will be the amazon test.vercel app. So let's save that one. And also we need to give some environment variable. Remember, all our environment variable is here in .env file. So we need to upload that environment variable to the Vercel. So let's go back to our application. In the settings, there is an option which is showing that environment variable. It will be the next auth URL, and the next auth URL, it will be the URL which we have been given. Okay, let's go to our home page. That is the auth URL which we're gonna pass over the value. So this will be there, and now it's gonna be by default it will be ticked for production preview and development. We're going through that production build. Let's save it. And after that, we need to use that next auth secret. Remember, we generated a next auth. That auth should be the similar of that one. Let's click that, hit save. And also we need to give that GitHub ID to create that login authentication. Let's copy that. Save. Then the GitHub secret. And whenever you are copying that, be careful, don't put any extra character. You need to be a very specific. Now it's for the Google client ID, which gonna be that, and then it will be the Google client secrets. And in either way, if you miss that next auth URL and next auth secret, it will not work. So be careful. You need to pop that up in both way to keep in that production build. Oops, it will need to copy that. Paste. And the last one, it will be stripe secret key. Okay. So let's hit save. So now we are having all the necessary dependencies for that environment variable. So now actually we can access those key the way we access from that .env.local. Now we can access that key from our Vercel, from the valid HTTPS signature. So let's go back to our apps over here. Let's open that application again. So let's try to create a sign-in with Google. And as you see, we can create sign-in with Google and it's working just fine. So get sign out again, because we will try to sign in with our GitHub account. And if we try with the GitHub, I believe it will not work, and there is a valid reason for that. So to amplify that one, what I'm gonna do, because it's redirecting us to the local host. We are not doing it in the local host anymore. We are doing it in amazon.vercel.app. So we need to head back to our, okay, I believe, yeah, our application. As you see, this is our application. So now we need to pass that callback URL. Instead of that, we will pass that one. And also instead of that, we need to pass that one. So these two value will work now. So let's update our application and let's head back to our application. Just make a hot reload. And after that, try to log in with GitHub and it's gonna redirect back us with the GitHub. So now we are having everything done perfectly. So let's try to create a checkout portion. Let's see if Stripe one is actually working or not. So in our payment option, let's open that up also. So let's head back to our payment, proceed to buy. And as you see, it's redirecting us to the Stripe checkout portion. So 2488.98. Let's try to create a payment checkout portion. Oops, let's give a name. Okay. That will be 4242. Let's click. And after having that, it also gonna redirect to us pretty much and surely the success page is not created because we need to redirect that one because it's also still redirecting to our local host. That's why we are not having a success page. Now, so now if I believe there is a success page in the pages, that's the one. But what we need to create from the API, we need to mention that success page somewhere over here from the checkout. So it's gonna be that next auth URL. So I believe it's not finding that next auth URL properly. Okay. So we can pass a two value over here instead of creating one value. What I'm gonna do, either way, it's gonna go through from our that portion, like from the our local file, or what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get that. Just let's go to our. Okay, let's go to our main page. So it's gonna redirect us to over here on that success page. So it's gonna take two value. Either it's gonna follow through that environment variable or it's gonna go through on over here. So, yeah, we have that success page. So first of all, let's you see as you can also create a sign out from here and it will still remain in the home page. So now you're gonna have pretty much everything regarding that project, and throughout that project you can just feel free to toggle through all the spaces where the dynamic route is connected and how everything is patched up. So and all the changes, anything coming on at that portion, it will also be available in that github.com, and then inside the repository, which one will be available for that, it's that Amazon Nextjs, which will be in the description below. And also feel free to try to understand how this project work, and of course to learn it much more in better way, just go back to my channel and head back to this two video to just to watch back through and how you can implement those things from the scratch. And if you like, and if you like the video, and if you is helping that video in a way, then please subscribe my channel and just refer to some friends to watch it, and it's gonna be really give some credit for you. So I believe it's gonna help you to build your own application in a very good way. So let's create this application from the scratch with me and just like update your portfolio for a better future, and hope we'll see you in the next video.